Race number 6 of the NAISCC season takes us to the legendary paperclip Martinsville Speedway for the ST.Jude Children's Hospital Research 200. What to watch for this evening, the number 15 of Vincent Sora, after scoring a third-place finish run last week at Pocono that helped him move up to 15th, up 2 spots in the standings to 6th. It has been a consistent season for the number 15. We look forward to seeing him being a threat here at Martinsville, as he was able to finish 2nd here last season, and it's always fast when the NAISCC Cup Series come here. The number 57 of Thomas Walter, a top 5 finish, was just what the doctor ordered for the 57 group, bringing it home 4th last week. It was able to shoot him up 6 spots in the standings, and now sitting in 10th place. Another solid track for the North Star Motorsports driver. He was able to score at 8th last season, and look for him to be fast this week and carry last week's momentum into the race here tonight. The number 2 of Danny Cochran, another driver that scored his first top 5 of the season with a solid 5th place run at Pocono last week, was the number 2 machine of Danny Cochran. This run shot him over the cut line in the standings and has him sitting in 14th place. He has shown speed all season so far, and looking forward to another top 10 tonight. The number 42 of Brandon Colley, the biggest mover in the standings last week with the number 42 car, with a 2nd place finish at Pocono. He was able to jump 8 spots to 18th in points, and is looking to ride that momentum into this week at Martinsville. And it wouldn't surprise me if that number 42 is up there competing for a top 5 finish again. And finally, the number 94 of the Professor, Sean Huff-Stutler, coming off a solid 11th place finish last week at Pocono. That moved the number 94 up 4 spots in the standings, and that sees him above the cut line in 14th place. With having the sponsor of the race on his car this week, I know he'll be competing hard to get that beautiful ride towards the front, and don't be surprised when you see him up there. Joining me in the booth, Oz himself, Robert A. Moya, and my cohort in crime on Saturday nights, it's Sam Dyer. Sam, another big week here for the NAISCC, and I've been watching everyone in practice. We've got some fast guys. We've got some not so fast guys. We've got some guys that wanted to wall ride and get a good time.
Yeah, the guys that were wall riding kind of jumbled up on what the real scoring for practice is going to look like for these drivers. So for us to really get a good sight of who's really the fastest, I think that's when qualifying comes around here in just 5 seconds. But for a lot of these drivers, Martinsville has been circled on their schedule as the I Hope I Survive track. This is going to be a destruction derby night, and a lot of drivers hoping for green flag racing, but everyone knows looming over their head that this could be a caution-filled race, and everyone's hoping that they do not use that one faster pair early in this race.
Once again, we are at Martinsville for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital 200 with the NAISCC Cup Series. Lee Tidwell, Sam Dyer, and Robert A. Moya join you this evening as we get set to watch a little bit of qualifying going on. Sam, as you said, the practice time can't really pay attention to because there was people doing some wall riding there. So we got to see exactly what is going to be going on when it comes down to qualifying. Lots of cars already out. The number 15 of Vincent Sora out. The 88 of Adam Westfield is out as well. The 51 of Max Foner is out. Looking there at the number 12 of Ryan Ferraro. And let's see what kind of lap times these guys are able to put down. Sam, I've looked forward to this race all week long. It's always fun to have short track action because you've got 2 guarantees. Number 1, there's going to be some bumping, there's going to be some grinding, there's going to be some rubbing and racing. It's going to be lots of action going on. Number 2, we ain't got to worry about long green flag spread out runs because there's going to be cautions in this race. The question is how many.
Yeah, it's whatever car really survives and has the most cleanest of the cars is probably going to be the one that wins this race, as tires not really looking to be a true factor, as they're only going to have 3 sets here tonight. The one they start off with into in pit road, with our stage break actually being at the halfway marker of this race. So also looking like pit stops. There could be a little bit of strategy for tires, but honestly, it's try to stay out of trouble for a lot of these guys out here. And you know, we got to see a little bit of short track racing back at North Wilkesboro for a couple of weeks back, and we got to see that Cedric Hunter winning there. But again, it was a major cluster of cars being collected on a lot of big wrecks. I think we're setting up for something pretty similar here.
Cedric Hunter on the pole at the moment at 19.677. James Loveland in second, 19.691. Kyle Rochelle third, Sinchek fourth, Vincent Sora in fifth. Make that Nick Crawford, who jumped up to fifth. Now Brian Johnson, Brandon Colley decided they're going to top each other 1, 2, 3. So we've got the 1, 2, 3 is in category 5 by Brandon Colley, Brian Johnson, Cedric Hunter, Nick Crawford, also a member of Cat 5 in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, Nick Crawford making his debut here tonight. And what a difficult track to make a debut, but this could be a statement race for the 11 showing up here tonight. And right now, looking at the 32 of Zach Hall, and I got to say, for Zach, he's a driver I've got a lot of question marks for tonight. He looked quick at North Wilkesboro, another short track, heavy braking there. I'm wondering if the 32 has a similar strategy, but just need a little bit of better luck if he could possibly be someone to win here tonight.
David Funk and Cole Medina in the stands there on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, sir. Love calling those races. As we're watching the 32 of Zach Hall. What did Hall do? Let's see here. Jumps up to fourth on that one. 19.690. A 1/1000th of a second faster than James Loveland. In so many spots I had to count to make sure I had the right verbiage for that. But look at that. Cat 5 qualifying in the top 4 spots. Colley, Johnson, Hunter, and Hall. And then you've got Crawford in 8th position. Looking now to 23 of Jacob T. Morris. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Jacob T. Morris is just running laps, trying to get that track experience, as a lot of the field has already put down their best times. I think the only driver that can best his time or even put a time down, that's going to be James Tremmel, who just got out there on course. He has plenty of time to put his 2 laps down, but everyone else, I think a lot of them were just thinking, hey, let's get a little bit more extra track time so that when we do go green, we're not trapped in a scenario where we're not used to how the car's going to react, getting hard on the brakes.
Let's see what Trammell does in the 20 if we can go to him making his first lap. He is throwing it down, going into 3 and 4. It's very treacherous down there, especially if you nip that curb. It can really upset the car. Travel across the line. First lap will be a 19.955. That's a good enough for 19th. Second lap underway now down the backstretch into 3, the 20 machine of James Trammell. Looking to try to improve from that 19th position. We'll cross that start-finish line, and we wait for the time, a 19.947. He will remain in 19th position. And that'll do it for qualifying. That'll do it for qualifying. That'll do it for qualifying. Now it's time to race.
Amazing jingle. Can you do that for every race from here on out?
As we get set to go with the starting lineup here at the St.Jude Children's Hospital 200 with the NAISCC Cup Series from Martinsville Speedway. We get set for 200 laps. Brandon Colley in that number 42 will take the pole with a 19.627. Brian Johnson at number 28 will start in second position. In third, Cedric Hunter in that Hello Kitty machine. And the number 13, the number 32 of Zach Hall will be in fourth position. In fifth will be James Loveland in that number 56. Kyle Rochelle will begin in sixth position in the number 1. The number 8 of Tom Sinchek. Magnum PI himself will be in seventh position. In 8th, Nick Crawford in that number 11th. Vincent Sora, the number 15, will be in 9th position. In 10th, Jacob T. Morris in the number 23. The number 5, Dakota Moniz, will start in 11th. In 12th, the Professor Sean Huffstutler in the number 94. The number 05 of Nathan Soren in 13th position. Max Foner will be in 14th in that number 51. Trevor Earhart, the number 25, will be in 15th. Thomas Walter will be in 16th in the number 57. The number 24 of Martin Morales Jr. in 17th position. Jesse Thordick will begin in 18th in that number 14 machine. James Trammell in the number 20 begin in 19th. Adam Westfield will be in 20th in the number 88. Number 44 of Maurice Gomillion. There we go. In 21st, 22nd will be Danny Cochran. 23rd, Ryan Bird. 24th, Ryan Ferraro. 25th, Daniel Keith Jr. And in 26th position will be Alston Halsey in that number 4 machine. And that, my friends, will round out your starting order here for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital 200 with the NAISCC Cup Series. Lead Tidwell, Sap Dyer, and Oz himself, Ray Moya, here on this wonderful Saturday evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up, like the video, share it to your favorite platforms, or heck, send it by text, send it by email, carrier pigeon, smoke signals. We don't care. Just let people know that Freaky Fast is on the air.
Oh boy. Lee, you've been on it. I'm excited on what else you're going to bring throughout this race. I got to say, though, looking at the field and where the drivers qualified, you already know Cat 5, top 4 qualifying this race, looking solid for themselves. The two drivers I've got my eye on has to be Kyle Rochelle and Tom Sinchek. Sinchek, last time these drivers were at Martinsville was during season 1, and that was when Tom Sinchek won there, with Vincent Sora finishing second and Adam Westfield finishing in third. But Kyle Rochelle got the pole for that race, but got wrecked out later on in that race. So I'm wondering to see, will the 1 be able to rebound, or will Cat 5 be too much to handle tonight?
Colley and Johnson, row number 1. Hunter and Hall, row 2. Loveland, Rochelle, row 3. Sinchek, Crawford, row 4. Sora and Jacob T. Morris will round out row number 5. Pace truck comes off there at the entrance of turn 3. Very odd pit road entrance here. Here we go. Green flag. Brandon Colley and Brian Johnson will bring them down 200 laps for Martinsville. And here we go into turn number 1. Colley on the inside, Johnson on the high side. Teammates back behind him with Hunter and Hall. Johnson with the advantage going down the backstretch. Colley will shrink it going into 3, go door to door through 3 and 4. Johnson with a great exit here will overtake the lead. Colley will slide back to second. Hall in third by a nose over Hunter. Then you're going to have Rochelle and Loveland back behind them. Rochelle trying to squeeze the issue. Looks back behind Hall. We take it out of 2. Zach Hall gets pushed up top with Cedric Hunter underneath him. Then you got Rochelle, and had to check up with Loveland. Off track and spinning is Crawford. Saves it up against the wall, but Crawford spins. Taking it down into 1 and 2. Rochelle now to the inside of Zach Hall, sending Hall back down to 5th position. Hall evens it, backs out, have Loveland right behind him. Going into 3, Johnson in the lead now. Colley 2nd, Hunter 3rd, Rochelle 4th. Hall will be in 5th position. We will now single file and take it through the start-finish line lap 4 of 200, Sam. Looking now at the number 23, make it the 05 of Nathan Soren.
Yeah, Nathan Soren right now running in 12th place, trying to set up that of Dakota Moniz. And Moniz, one of those drivers that is in the top 10 of points, still hasn't gotten a top 5 finish. He's looking poised. We've seen him last season do well, but gets tapped and spun around. It's Dakota Moniz bringing out our first yellow of the day.
Moniz gets spun there, brings out the first yellow of the afternoon. And we're seeing lots of people losing spots with that. Cochran, Westfield lost some spots. Morris as well towards the front at that caution. But caution number 1 on lap number 5. We go to the Freaky Fast Cartage replay. And we see here Moniz has the 05 of Soren right behind him. They come through 4. I don't think he touched him.
No, and even from Soren, he is reporting that he never even got an incident point for tapping the 5. And we even saw that with Nick Crawford, and the fact that he got loose at the same exact spot about 2 laps previous to this. So it's looking like these drivers, center of the corner, if they get on the throttle too soon, that rear end just wants to go around so easily. And that's what's going to be bringing out our first caution of the day.
That's one of the things about this track is there's not a lot of banking in these turns, and the way that you exit, you have to feather that throttle. It's a rhythm track. We talk about that all the time. You got to have that rhythm method. I don't, because I have kids. But if you watch this and watch the way that they come out of these turns, if they get on the gas too hard, too quick, too fast, that back end is going to want to spin around, and that's exactly, I think, what happened to Moniz.
Yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit too giddy, and I think also for Moniz, feeling the pressure of that of Soren on his back bumper, and seeing the fact that the drivers in front of him are pulling away, and with the pressure of trying to keep up with the drivers in front of you, not to get trapped by someone that you could possibly not be able to get by, you feel that urgency to get on the throttle, and it backfires so easily, and that's what happened to the 11 and for the 5 there. Both of them are now going to have to figure out how to get their way through the pack and get back up into the top 10.
Johnson in the lead, Collie second, Cedric Hunter will be in third, Kyle Rochelle fourth, Zach Hall in fifth position. Then you're going to have James Loveland down 1, Vincent Sora up 2 to 7th, Tom Sinchik down 1 to 8th, Jacob T. Morris up 1 to 9th. The Professor Sean Hubstutler breaks the top 10 up 2 spots.
Yeah, I mean, Hubstutler doing a great job. I got to give credit to the whole entire field, though. Able to stay green for as long as they were. A big prop, especially early short track racing. There's a lot of jitters to want to get aggressive early, trying to steal as many positions as possible. We'll see if they're going to be able to stay civil or do the classic short track racing phrase, cautions breeding cautions.
Cautions breed caution. That is something that is very much true in real racing or virtual racing. As we go double file, get ready to bring it back green. Here it'll be lap number 10 when we cross the line. Here we go. Brian Johnson will bring them through. Nice jump. Hunter got a nice jump on the inside as well, along with Hall. Collie a little slow on the throttle. We go into 1 and 2. Oh, Collie gets spun by Rochelle.
Oh, man, we kind of had a sense it wasn't able to stay green 2 times in a row. Collie wheel spins and gets himself in a scenario where the driver's on the outside, not able to slow up.
I don't think Rochelle touched him either.
Oh, I think Rochelle got a little bit of a bumper there.
Let's we'll go to the Freaky Fast Carnage replay and take a look and see exactly what happened. We come across the start-finish line. You can see the not so very good start there by Brandon Collie. Rochelle right behind him. Hunter will be on the inside. So Collie stays up high. Rochelle will come close.
Yeah, absolutely. Just hits him.
Yeah, it was close. I'm going to call that one a racing incident, but not sure if Rochelle got into him or just upset the back end of that car. But Collie goes around. Great job of everyone to avoid him. Collie will stay on the lead lap. No damage. I say on the lead lap, but, well, he will be. He's just got to pass the pace truck.
Got to get back going. Oh, man. But I mean, this is the thing now for Collie. I mean, he was up there in the top 4, and now he's going to be all the way back in 26th position. And this is the worst place to be at short tracks because you're in the back. You know, you got a fast car that could be running and challenging for the win. And when you got a fast car around the slower machines in the back, especially at short track racing, tempers are going to flare up. You're going to get impatient, and the possibility of more cautions happening in the back half of the field is just going to build up more and more.
Thank you to David Bossman 247. I think it's Funky Cold David Medina, and then the Dale 883 there on YouTube. We love bringing these broadcasts to you each and every night of the week, except for Friday, which is Wifey Night. And we got such an array of announcers here with Freaky Fast Broadcasting, Sam. I mean, you could turn it on any night of the week, and you've got such a mixture of personalities, but the broadcast always so well done here. And we got Robert Boyer to thank for that here, the mastermind genius behind the curtain, Oz himself, when it comes to Freaky Fast.
Yeah, the voices might change each and every day, but the producer, always the same and always doing the best job out there in the business. Got to give it up to Robert for everything that he does to even set up and give us the chance to commentate these races.
I have fun doing this. During the lockdown, me and Robert were doing 6 nights a week at one point in time, and I have nothing else to do. I mean, I was stuck at home, so that was a lot of fun. And then once I had to go back to work, I had to step away for about 6 months, and then got to come back here with the NAISCC series and you there, Sam. And then we ended up on Sunday nights. I joined back with Freaky Fast. Then we picked up the Bonfire Racing League Sunday mornings. Speaking of Sunday mornings, back in action with Bonfire tomorrow morning. And then the flagship SRU tomorrow night. Myself, Zach Hall, will be in the booth bringing you all the next-gen action with the SRU. Green flag, and here we go across the start-finish line. Johnson will dive it down. Look at Hunter with a nice run there on the high side, going through 1 and 2. Going to power out. Rochelle will overtake Zach Hall for third position. Drop it down in. Sora, Loveland, Sinchek, Morris, Huffstutler, and Soren. Woo, Rochelle looking for some stuff here. Hall down to the inside. Now we got Sora down to the inside of Rochelle through 1 and 2. Cedric Hunter trying to keep it straight next to Hall.
I mean, the drivers are starting to feel the temperatures are building up in the tires, but with them feeling that sensation of a little bit more grip means they're trying to get on the throttle quicker, which is costing them and losing a lot of ground. But there was some collisions, it looked like, in the back half of the field as drivers are really slow and someone completely demolished. That's Martin Morales with no front bumper.
Morales with no front bumper. And not sure exactly what happened there. Johnson has now pulled out a half-second lead over Zach Hall. Cedric Hunter will be third. Vincent Sora fourth. Kyle Rochelle to fifth. Sinchek sixth. Morris seventh. Loveland eighth. Soren just jumps into ninth. Puts Huffstutler back into 10th position.
Yeah, went back to go see what happened. Dakota Moniz just absolutely getting right into the back bumper of that Tremel. And now another collision, even bigger than it was before.
Looks like the 57 involved in that. That's going to be Walter. Have to go back and see what happened as we get ready to check out the Freaky Fast Carnage replay. Oh, the 25 just gets loose. If we check it out here, Trevor Earhart just gets loose coming out of 4. Tries to overcorrect and snaps it around.
The driver with the most damage, it looked like, from that incident is going to be Nick coming in hard, just nowhere to go, right into Walter.
Yep, so that will bring out caution number 3. Earhart and Walter being involved. We're being asked in our headset over under on the cautions tonight. You know, I think honestly, we get through these first 35, 40 laps, it's going to settle out, and we're going to see green flag pit stops with how long we're going to run.
Are we counting the stage caution, though? Okay, it's being counted. Stage caution does count. That's what we're being told. And I'll say 20. Over under on 20.
Well, if we look, we're a 10th of the way in. We're at caution number 3. So 3 times 10 would be 30.
No, we're not getting to 30. But, I mean, I do think that we will get a short stint. But I think 20 is probably the safest starting point. But it obviously can be more than that. I think the most I've seen for a 200 race was probably 34 cautions. But that was drivers just not willing to be patient with each other at all. I mean, I'm just saying the 20 is going to be our baseline. Over and under on 20. What do you think, there, Lee?
Under.
You think under? I'm going to go over on 20.
That's not how. Are you on the air? Or are you just talking in our ear, sir? So he's talking in our ear and saying, "Okay, so what's your under?" That's not how over under works. There's a number, and you say over under. I ain't got it. You didn't ask for my prediction. You asked over under. I'm under 20. People think that I have multiple personalities. No, it's just a producer in my ear.
Hey, you got to act out as our producer and act out as yourself.
Oh, goodness. Lap 24 of 200. Johnson will be in the lead. Zach Hall, Cedric Hunter. Where did Collie shake out of all this? Collie will be in 21st position.
Yeah, Collie had that major scare when Martin Morales had his spin that didn't bring out a caution. Collie had to completely slam on the brakes to not be involved in that one, and then again had to avoid the other wreck that came out. So being in the back, very treacherous place to be. Also, some of those other drivers that were up front, they got caught up in stuff. Got to be careful for them. Dakota Moniz, I know he almost brought out a caution. He's got to be careful. But for everyone else, this is a tough race. Also for Nick Crawford and Martin Morales, they have already used their fast repair.
Yeah, all right, so pace truck comes off. Here we go to be lap number 26 when we cross the line. Johnson with another excellent start. Zach Hall spins those tires. gets hit in the rear end by Vincent. Sora gives him a little shove. Hall gets shoved out of the way there by Sora. Sora gets a little loose. He's going to have to check up the entire field behind him. That's going to give the opportunity to 05 Sora to go down to the inside. Zach Hall gets stuck to the high side of Jacob T. Morris as we come out of. It's going to be Johnson, Cedric Hunter, Kyle Rochelle, Jacob T. Morris, and then Zach Hall. Sora in 6, making Soren, who dives down underneath Sora. And they're going to race it out of 2 side by side, nose to nose, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely amazing racing that we're seeing up front. But got to be careful for some of these guys. Hard contact being made.
Yeah, we got some lawn darts going on back here, and just some send it mentality, it seems like.
Oh no! 94 spun around.
Huff Stutler. He gets tapped by Danny Cochran.
Oh no. Morales hit, and that is on a machine that he's already used the fast repair.
So lots of stuff happened on that. Coming out of 4, the 2 of Cochran gets a little squirrely. Huff Stutler down to the inside, and then the 88 of Westfield taps Huff Stutler. Huff Stutler will go up into the wall, collect the 2 of Danny Cochran, and then when he tries to get back started, comes down and gets Martin Morales, who has already used his fast repair.
Oh man, there's just chaos. I think there was a chance of at least 3 different cautions in that moment. Kyle Rochelle up front, he has been bullying his way to get up to 3rd place, shoving everyone and anyone that is around him to make sure he moves up in positions. Also for Jacob Morris, who's in 4th place, those front runners, they are putting themselves in pretty scary territory because they're making enemies very quickly here at Martinsville. Later on in the race, people are not going to cut them any slack. They could be finding themselves getting spun around.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting race as now we're on caution number 4. With Johnson in the lead, Hunter, Rochelle, Morrison, Hall, your top 5. Sora, Soren, Sinchek, Boner, and Loveland will round out your top 10. Fastest lap of the race so far, Brian Johnson, a 19.667, but he's been out there on his little lonesome. He really hasn't had anyone to race with or no one to worry with, so he could just run his line, and that's the reason why I think you see 0.2 of a second difference between him and everybody else.
Yeah, it really helps when you're the leader here because you can get that launch on the restart, and everyone else has to race to catch up to you. And with everyone else being so hungry to gain positions behind our leader, they're going to wreck each other before they even get up to the 28. And for Brian Johnson, I mean, he's already our first multi-time winner this season. He's trying to go for 3 wins this season, 2 in a row. It looks very promising if he can find himself up front and not put in a situation where he has to go back in traffic.
Riding on the roof of the number 23 of Jacob T. Morris. As you can see, Johnson, Hunter, and then Rochelle right there next to him / in front of him. The number 1 of Rochelle. And as you talked about, Rochelle has not been afraid to stick his nose into various crevices this evening.
No, our second row right now is a very dangerous second row that are willing to bully themselves. Also an update, Ryan Ferraro has, looks like has had some internet issues, is disconnected. Hopefully we'll see the 12 back in this race, but right now currently a start and part.
So let's throw it double file. Johnson and Hunter in row 1. As you said, the scariest second row in racing. Rochelle and Morris, row 2. Zach Hall, Vincent Sora, row 3. Soren and Sinchek, row 4. And Foder and Loveland in row number 5. And by saying the scariest second rows, they're not bad drivers. Kyle Rochelle, Jacob T. Morris, both excellent drivers. But this race right here, right now, yeah, they haven't been afraid to push their weight around, so to speak.
Got a bumper. Why not use it?
Here we go. Pace truck comes off. We come around 3 and 4. Let's see what kind of jump Johnson gets on this one. Gets a nice jump. Rochelle had to check up there. We drive it down into 1. Johnson to the inside. Little bump there from Morse to the back of Rochelle. Rochelle will be door-to-door with Cedric Hunter coming out of 2. Behind them, it's going to be Sora and Hall racing it. Sora hung to the high side. We race it through 4. Cedric Hunter will remain high line, get a nice launch off there, solidify second position. Rochelle in 3rd, Morris 4th, Sora in 5th. And you got Zach Hall looking underneath Sora now, coming out of 2. The 05 of Soren will be behind Hall. Single file, leading it down into 3. We do not double it up till we get back to Foner and Loveland. And now we're seeing the guys take it a little bit easier, a little more gingerly, a little more courteous. And then someone gets spun.
Dumped and spun around. But we stay green.
Did he save it?
Somehow. We've seen a couple of great saves so far. I mean, we saw Cochran earlier on, and we're starting to see a lot of drivers. It might be getting loose at times, maybe a little bit of a bump, but still holding strong as Multar Field at this point, they're all single filed out.
Yeah, I think it was the 20th Trammell, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was a patriotic scheme, but I believe it was Trammell who, the 15, Sora got a little loose there. He's going to lose the spot to Zach Hall. Now Sora will go to the inside, overtake Hall, back for the spot. That is for 5th. Sora spun those tires coming out of 4, got a little wiggly. We're seeing some tail feathers being shook here at Martinsville, Sam, and that's the thing. The longer, what we've been hoping for a long green flag run, but the longer these runs will go, the more these tires will be worn, and then you've got to be even more careful, more cautious exiting those turns and how you get on the throttle.
Yeah, you have to go from getting onto the throttle about 3/4 on the throttle, getting halfway through the corner, to you can only get on the throttle when you're facing straight. And that's how the track is going to evolve for these guys. And the more that, some drivers feel like, hey, I can get on the throttle a little bit sooner, better of a chance we're going to be seeing someone spin around. Or we also could be seeing drivers that don't feel comfortable with their older tires getting on the brakes sooner. And some other drivers behind, their braking points are going to change with the development of the tire wear.
Watching now the 15 of Vincent Sora. Sora now looks down to the inside of Morris going into 3. Has to hug that bottom line. They're going to be nose to nose across the line. Call it slight edge for Sora. Will completely overtake Morris into 1 and 2. Zach Hall almost into the back end of Morris. Behind him, Soren and Sinchek. That's the thing, that the braking zones in this track is such a challenge. I mean, that's, somebody blink. So Zach Hall, the little blinky blink.
And Hall's close to Jacob Morris, and Hall's kind of been on the dropping back just slightly from himself, so the driver's got to be careful in that aspect. But Jesse Thordick, I think he might have been caught up in a little bit of a bump from Ryan Bird that's cost him a lot of time, and now dropping back to 14th. He is being absolutely hounded by a lot of fast machines. You got Dakota Moniz, who was up in our top 5 at one point. You've also got our pole sitter of that of Colley, who's back in 17th in this long train of cars that really cannot get moving forward. As our leaders up front, they're giving each other a lot of space, and it's going to be Johnson who's just pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, Johnson is known as Mr. Ultra Instinct for a reason, and once he gets out there on his own, it's like it's pure instinct, and the guy he can leave a field, and we've watched him do it many times here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Lap 45 of 200. Looks like the racing is right around that 13th to 20th position when you go from Trammell, Thornick, Moniz, Gomillion, Colley, Walter, Nick Crawford, Danny Cochran, all of them involved, and especially accordion there at the turns, riding along with Cochran now in the number 2, sitting in 20th position, looking at Nick Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing, for Crawford, this has been a great rebound for the 11, who, again, another one of those drivers that started in the top 10, but had an early issue that put him back in traffic. Starting to see the older tires, it's so difficult to try to make their moves forward, but that of the 11 actually decided to take tires on the last caution, which is allowing him to have a little bit more grip than everyone else. It's going to allow the 11 to move up into the top 10. It's just going to take a little bit of patience to get up there, because everyone else's tires wear out a lot faster. The 11 can make these moves.
Yeah, Crawford overtakes Walter.
Oh no, pole sitter! Walter just dumps it into the outside wall to avoid, and more drivers piling in.
Yeah, so Colley involved in that. We'll see if we can find it on the Freaky Fast Carnage replay. Oh, Collie just lost it.
It looked like he got on the brakes just a little bit too hard, and it just slides the back end down. We're going to be seeing it here. But Colley's got no one around him that's going to get him in trouble. It's just himself, and get himself spun around here.
Yeah, one of those small self-inflicted mistakes, and it looks like he might have entered in a little hot and then had to get on the brakes a little harder. Walters gets rear-ended. Huffstutler got tapped a little bit.
Oh, man.
That brings out caution number 5.
The question for Walter is to figure out, with that hard of an impact for himself going up into the outside wall, if he's going to need to take a faster pair for himself. But I'm starting to already hear some drivers feeling frustration, and we're only a quarter of the way through this race.
Frustration, or it's another word that starts with an F, one or the other. But yeah, there's definitely some talk going on through the radio as we speak. We crossed the line, lap 52 of 200. Caution number 5. We got 149 laps to go here at Martinsville, and we are back under caution. I'd like to remind you of the fine sponsors that bring you the NAISCC Cup Series along with Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and they are the SimBox Store. If you want to take your sim rig to the next level, get yourself a button box in the SimBox Store today. These quality handcrafted button boxes feature 32 functions and will deliver immersion like never before. You can reach them on Facebook at SimBox Store or view their box option on their eBay store. And don't forget to like their page and let them know that Freaky Fast sent you. That's the SimBox Store. You really push our buttons. Brought to you by the ButtKicker and the Gamer 2. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. And the ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving to physical mass instead of only air like traditional speakers, the Gamer 2 provides an instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. Check out the Gamer 2 at thebudkicker.com. Use promo code FreakyFast20 for 20% off your order of the Gamer 2 at thebudkicker.com. 148 laps to go, Sam. Might be a long evening.
Oh, absolutely. Also, for these drivers that have been caught up in a lot of these wrecks, they got to be careful. There is an incident limit for these drivers. If you're caught up with either contact on the wall, maybe cutting the corner and touching the grass through the corners, there's chances of getting incident points. And if you get over 36 incident points, you will be parked for the race. So these drivers have to be aware, as that is a factor for them here tonight.
So, I'm sorry for just clearing my throat on the air. Sorry about that. Bring him to the line is going to be Johnson. He's had excellent restarts every single time. He tried to stack him right there. Cedric Hunter with a good start. Rochelle right on the back bumper of Johnson. We're going to drive it down. Then you got Jacob Morris and Sora back behind them door to door. Then Soren and Zach Hall. Cedric Hunter got a nice little launch there on the high side, looking to battle Johnson. Rochelle will be in third, watching everything unfold in front of him and behind him with Morris and Sora. Through 1 and 2, we remain that way. And Johnson gets a nice run off of 2. But Hunter with a different strategy entering. This doesn't seem to have the same exit as Johnson on the inside. Johnson will solidify first position. Cedric Hunter will be in second. Rochelle third. Sora fourth. Morris fifth. Then you're going to have Soren, and then back behind him, Zach Hall and Sinchek. Sinchek will pass Hall, push him back to 8th position. Now Foner looking to the inside of Hall.
Yeah, starting to see a lot of the drivers that qualified in the top 10 or even in the top 5 starting to lose ground. As some of the drivers that started on the top 10th place, that's Jacob Morris up to 5th. Great charge for himself. Also for Nathan Soren, he started in 13th, able to move up to 6th place. Both of those drivers currently waiting and patient on when they're going to make their moves forward, but Vincent Sora, he is the man on the move.
Yeah, Sora up to 3rd, up 6 spots. And just kind of effortless pass of Kyle Rochelle. Had a great run. As we come through 3 and 4, we see the field starting to spread a bit, but still single file all the way through. What a beautiful shot.
Get to see what the audience is going to see at Martinsville when the fans are back in there, and just get to see the whole entire track and just its beauty of all the drivers single filed out, and whoever feels brave enough to try to dive it down below someone.
Oh, I heard something. Somebody tapped a wall. I think there was an incident, but someone tapped a wall.
I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of drivers just trying to get antsy in the middle of the pack. Still, a large group of drivers being stacked up around 14th.
Yeah,
Just
around
Thordick under pressure from that of Dakota Moniz. Also want to report, it's looking like Ryan Ferraro has been able to reconnect. He's trying to get back in the car and get back out there on track, but it looked like it was just an internet issue for the 12.
Got a little loose. That looked like that was the 25 of Earhart. And the spin.
Thordick
was having trouble earlier and started getting past here and there, and then took it on around. So caution number 6.
Well, that was exactly just like the caution that we just had with Collie. Just coming in with too much speed, hard on the brakes, and then spinning the car around. What it's really looking like is some of these drivers might be having themselves too high of a brake bias, so when they get later into a run, it just wants to spin them around.
Austin Halsey avoided calamity and stopped on a dime in the 4. He almost hit Thordick. Almost just demolished that car. And great brake control and not locking him up and coming to, like I said, stopping on a dime. The 4 of Austin Halsey.
But Halsey looks like he might be just done for the day. He has pulled it over, took a tow, and then is disconnected from the race. So even with that incredible stop on a dime, looks like it is for no good feed as he has left the server. Well, Lee, I think the next question for these drivers, it might not be, we've already kind of have our bet going on of what it is, if it's going to be 20 or less of cautions, but also how many drivers do you think are going to be still in this race by the end of the night? I mean, Martinsville, there's a lot of drivers that there's space, and you're driving slow enough that you can get in a lot of wrecks and still be running, but do you think that we're still going to have over 15 drivers when this thing's over?
Well, we started out with 26. We've lost 2. So, and we're over a quarter of the way in. So, I think we'll be all right unless we see unless the cautions continue like this. Because there's only so much damage a car can take before either you've got too much required repairs and you can't take it back out, or you're just going to be in everyone's way and you're a rolling speed bump.
Well, also another thing to watch out for is I think about 2 of our 6 cautions have really been from contact from someone else. The other 4 have been self-spins and everyone else trying to avoid it. So expecting in the second half of this race to be a lot more wrecks of drivers bumping into one another, trying to gain that positioning. And also when we get closer to the end of stage 1, which that is on lap 100, when the drivers come to the halfway marker, when stage 1 will come to a close. And expecting a lot of drivers up front to get a little dicey if we're still close enough.
Yeah, and still waiting on pit stops for that front group. What's the pit window look like?
I believe these drivers can make it because of all the caution laps that are happening. I believe they can make it all the way to the end of stage 1 without having to make a pit stop.
Gotcha. So stage 1 will be lap 100. We will go green next time around. Johnson and Hunter on row 1. Soren, Rochelle, row 2. Morris and Soren, row 3. Sinchek and Hall, row 4. Boner and Loveland will round out your top 10. Pace truck will pull off, and let's see the start that Brian Johnson gets on this one. Johnson has been dominant this race. Another great start by Johnson.
Clear enough.
Monster start by Brian Johnson. Hunter's going to race with Sora out of 2. Rochelle will be, once again, sandwiched between 2 battles. Behind him, Morris and Soren. We bring it out of 4. Hunter will be in 2nd position. Soren still with the inside advantage. Now we went single file through Sinchek back behind. Down the backstretch, Cedric Hunter still trying to get back down into that groove. Zach Hall hung on the outside as well, back in 9th position. So Hunter will make it down inside in front of Soren, being 2nd. Soren 3rd. Rochelle 4th. Morris will be 5th. And you've got Soren in 6th. Sinchek 7th. Boner 8th. Hall 9th. Ryan Bird up to 10th position, up 13 spots.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers able to just keep their nose clean and moving forward, which has allowed them to gain all these positions. Still, Zach Hall side by side and just stuck where he's at. We're on board with Ryan Bird. That's holding off that of Zach Hall to his right side, and now has made the pass cleanly on the 32. But I do want to touch on the 13 and 15 of Hunter and Sora. Looked like Sora gifted that position to the 13. Could have kept on battling to push Hunter to go back to 3rd place, but early on recognizing, hey, let's not destroy each other's cars, and let's give each other a little bit of peace up front.
Yeah, very gentlemanlike. We're on lap 74 of 200. And it looks like Crawford now looking down to the inside of Trammell. Right behind the 56 of Loveland. And we got a very slow vehicle. I think it's Ferraro.
Ferraro's been able to get back out on track, but he's 42 laps down and just trying to get out of the way of everyone else. And this is the difficult thing with lap traffic in the lead lap cars, is it's difficult to find a spot that's nice to just get out of the way as a lap car, because everywhere on track is kind of a dangerous spot for a lap machine to be running this slow.
Yeah, it really is. And Ferraro's doing a great job of just keeping it down there and staying out of everyone's way. Looking now at the 24 of Martin Morales. He is running in 20th position. Got involved in some earlier incidents, but trying to see if he can make something out of this race. 124 laps to go from Martinsville with the St.Jude Children's Hospital 200 with the NAISCC Cup Series. Round 6 of season number 3 as we look at the 57. That's going to be Thomas Walter.
Walter showing off that you can have some bumps and bruises and still running decently quick. He still hasn't used that fast repair, which I think is a really smart move. If you are not underpowered and you just visibly have a lot of aero damage, just stay out there. This is short track racing. It's more about how you are treating your tires and your brakes than it is on how your aero package is looking like.
Everybody spread a little bit. Now it looks like Sinchek trying to make a run on Nathan Soren. That's going to be for 6th. Sinchek looks down to the inside. He's got it there coming out of 2. Going into 3, and we'll take that position, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Sinchek, winner of this race back in season 1. And it just seems like Sinchek's been recognizing, hey, the drivers up front, they're kind of getting a little bit aggressive. I'll wait until everyone else's tires are a lot more beaten up. Then I'll start to make my charge forward. That's exactly what we're seeing as Nathan Soren. He was one of those drivers that got so aggressive early on. You're seeing the backlash from those tires, just losing speed and losing ground to the drivers in front of him, as that of Tom Sinchek, looking at the times that he's putting down compared to our leaders, running pretty similar times to the drivers that are in 2nd place, but wreck in the back. And that is going to be Jesse Thordick once again. I believe this is his 3rd wreck of the night.
Yeah, Thordick. Well, he scraped the wall coming out of 2. We'll bring up the Freaky Fast Cartage replay. Oh,
Oh, it was
Walter
Walter.
spun. Yeah. You will sit right here. Thornick comes through 3, and then he goes, oh my, what's in front of me? It's the 57 of Thomas Walter. And nowhere for Thornick to go.
And with the smoke being so thick there, Thordick had no clue that the driver was just sitting right in the middle of the track, and instead of completely slamming on the brakes like we've seen some other drivers do, just let his car coast in and smash it in that front bumper.
So caution number 7. Lap 84 of 200. I'd like to say hello to everyone watching us out there on YouTube. We appreciate you supporting not only Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but the NAISCC Cup Series. Don't forget, doubleheader coming up tomorrow, the Bonfire Racing League. Tomorrow morning, 8:50 a.m., maybe, I think. Robert, correct me.
I thought it was 9:50.
Oh, 9:50. It's 8:50 my time. 9:50 a.m. Eastern time as we go live with the Bonfire Racing League. And then tomorrow night at 7:50 Eastern, it will be the flagship SRU Sim Racing Unleashed here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Will be at Texas. That ought to be a fun little time with the guys with Sim Racing Unleashed in those next-gen cars. I like those next-gen cars. This week we're the next-gen A Series setting at Daytona, and that's a fun race.
Yeah, it is. I gotta say, the next-gen cars have been doing it great. I mean, it's been awesome to see how drivers have been reacting to the next-gen. And I'm excited how with the more data that iRacing gets with the next-gen, it just makes you more excited for next season when we get to see those drivers, instead of racing it virtually, racing it in real life.
So did you watch the Chicago race?
I missed the Chicago race. I did not watch that one.
Yeah, me too. So that's why I was hoping you did.
I chimed in and just saw that Davison was leading and dominating. I was like, good for him. I'm gonna go. I think I might have been working that night doing a different broadcast, so I missed most of it.
So 1 lap to go to green. Brian Johnson he's led every lap, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty sure he has led every lap. He got the lead quick and never relinquished it. We'll note, though, some interesting calls for the drivers in the back, led by that of Cauley. You also got Hutstutler and that of Westfield. They're going to be taking 4 tires early, thinking that they're going to use their second set later in the second half of this race.
So here we go. We're like 14 laps away from the stage break. Johnson will bring them to the line once again and gets another excellent start. Cedric Hunter's going to be able to just slide right down. Kyle Rochelle looking to take advantage of that slow start by Vincent Sora. Sinchek to the high side of Morris, and then back behind them, it's Foner and Soren door to door. Then Zach Hall along with Ryan Bird. We race it through 4. Cedric Hunter and Brian Johnson will take off and leave the field. Soren now going to... Oh, it's Rochelle!
We say green, though, able to get it straightened up, and luckily had the help of the drivers behind him. They were all stacked side by side, and now they're going to be battling 3 wide behind them.
3 wide, and everybody then just stacks up into 3 and 4. We stay green, and we bring it through. Everyone will now settle back out, and we still got some jockeying for position with the 11 of Nick Crawford, and then Bird on the inside of him. Rochelle slid all the way back to 9th. On a spin there by Crawford. Crawford saves it. Everybody makes it out safely. We go 3 wide into 1. And we keep it going. Man, some excellent driving here this evening. Yeah, we've had 7 cautions, but we should have had a lot more with some of the things we've seen, and drivers able to pull it from the brink of disaster.
Yeah, easily could have had 12, 13 cautions already in this race, but a big credit to some of these drivers that have already used their fast repair. As Crawford, another one of those drivers that used it early in the first about 11 laps of this race. He's already got a lot of damage on that right side. Got to be careful of it. As you're also seeing our pole sitter, he's up to 18th. And right now, Cawley, he's not been able to really utilize the fresh rubber that he has as well as I thought he would be able to, showing that a lot of these caution lap flags that have given us a lot of pace laps, tire wear isn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Cawley's got Westfield looking to the high side of him. And he's just stacked up underneath, so there's really nowhere for him to go, and Westfield's got him blocked on that high side.
Yeah. Everyone's kind of stacked up 14th on back. That's where we're seeing this train just not able to really go anywhere. The outside lane really isn't where you want to be, but Cawley using the fresh rubber and just diving it down low.
Down inside of Crawford, he will go in and overtake that position, move up to 17th position.
I think
now they're going to stay door to door.
Yeah, the only reason that we saw Cawley even risk that type of a move was the fact that he is in communications with Crawford. So he could tell the 11, hey, I'm going down low, got fresh rubber, I'm going to take off. Because if he was with anyone else, that was calamity waiting to happen.
Cawley will pass Earhart now and move up in to 16th position. Earhart's falling on backwards. Crawford passes him. Westfield passes him. And now he's got Huffstutler looking down. So the 25 of Trevor Earhart not running as well as you would think.
I believe that he is still on those older tires and also just trying to conserve that car, not to get in any more trouble. I believe about 25 laps ago, he did come in, that was about 70 laps ago, he came in to use his fast repair. So trying to make sure that this car is still running and able once we get into the second half, as we're almost there at the end of the stage.
Getting a little squirrely was the 2 of Danny Cochran. Now to the inside of him will be Cawley. Cawley will move up to 15th position. And now Westfield looking to pass Cochran as well. Cochran came in on lap 53.
Stage 1 coming to a close here. We're on what would be technically the last lap of stage 1 currently right now.
So we will move back up to Brian Johnson, our leader. Johnson in that number 28 car coming through 3 and 4, and this should end the stage right there. Brian Johnson, Cedric Hunter, Vincent Sora, Morris passes Sinchek. Now let's see, maybe not. Maybe Sinchek is going to stay, but that was a race. Yeah, they're actually discussing that on the radio on it. Whoa, man, Sinchek came out sideways out of 4, and the 23 of Morris on the accelerator, and I'm still not sure who crossed the line 4th and 5th.
Well, currently it's given it to that of Morris, as they have not switched out. Your top 5, they're going to get bonus points. It's going to be Johnson, Hunter, Sora, Morris, and Sinchek. Only your top 5 get those stage points. Now let's see who's going to be finishing this race and winning this thing in the second half, as they're all coming down pit road.
Oh, all coming down pit road. I'm actually checking out the replay, and even though when the caution came out, it's showing it as Morris. I believe Sinchek crossed the line first. Oh, by just inches. Sinchek, I believe, will be awarded 4th position, or at least fourth for points.
Yeah, I mean, the difficult thing is that it's based off of once the caution is thrown and not where they cross the line. That is when things get difficult. So it was a great race to the end there. But after pit stops going down, I touched on the fact that Brandon Cawley, Westfield, Huffstutler, they all came in during that last caution. It's because they wanted to make this move. They recognized that track position is the most important factor here tonight. And all 3 of those cars, you can even throw in that of Daniel Keith Jr. 4 drivers staying out. The rest of the field came in for fresh rubber, full tank of fuel. And that's that strategy I was talking about for some of these drivers that throws in once we get to the second half of this race.
So Collie will inherit the lead. Westfield in second, Huff Stutler third, Daniel Keith Jr. in fourth, Johnson in fifth, Hunter sixth, Sora seventh, Sinchek eighth, Zach Hall in ninth, Jacob T. Morris will round out your top 10. Very interesting. And we said we were counting the stage caution, correct?
Yes, the stage caution does count. So first half,
caution
8 cautions.
Still smelling an under.
I mean, I would say under is looking good and promising now, but now it's the end of the race. Tensions are going to be built up a lot more, and also a lot of the drivers that were up and battling in the top 3, they've got a little bit of traffic to find themselves through, and I'm interested also because a driver that's been aggressive and willing to really beat and bang, Kyle Rochelle, getting back out on track. He is currently 1 lap down, needing another caution for himself to get back and unlapped and back on the lead lap for himself.
Yeah, so Rochelle will be the lucky dog and is hoping for some kind of caution after this stage 1. Here we go to be lap 107 when we cross the line. Green flag will go, and Collie, along with Westfield, will just jump out and try to leave this field.
Oh, there's spinning in the back. Thornton getting involved with that of Max Foner, and oh boy, drivers were going 3 wide right at the rib.
And so we'll jump back and take a look at that with a Freaky Fast cartage replay. That actually started at the start-finish line there. A little shove. The Thornick. Trammell, excuse me. And then up into the 51 of Foner. And actually, that's the 14. My bad. So it was Thornick. So that will bring out caution number 9. Woo. Thomas Walter almost got collected again.
I believe Walter still has that fast repair if needed for that machine, deciding, hey, I'm only going to use this if my engine blows. And that is fair enough. I think that is probably the safest way to go out with this race. If you have fast repair and your car is still full power, stay out there. Don't use your quick repair and your fast repair just yet until you really need to in those final 30 or so laps.
I'm tired, man.
How are you tired? We're not even an hour into the race.
I had a long week.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So Collie will be in the lead. And, this strategy could pay off for him and Westfield and Huffstutler tremendously, or it could turn around to bite him. But right now, looking pretty smart.
Yeah, I would imagine they probably are feeling like they've got enough fuel to make it after the timing that they came into the pit road and not having to worry about tires again, because they came in about 19 laps before halfway. So they needed to go about 120 laps on fuel and hope that their tires can make it as well. But I feel like that's a really good call on their part to come in at that point, get their tires serviced, get everything that they need so they can get this track position while everyone else was so focused on pitting at this end of stage 1.
Don't forget, more racing action coming up tomorrow. The Bonfire Racing League tomorrow morning. Sim Racing Unleashed tomorrow night. And then we continue on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button yet, if you haven't clicked on the notification bell to let you know that when Freaky Fast goes on the air, You've got racing action every night of the week, but Friday and sometimes twice, like on Sundays. I mean, so why not subscribe to this page right now? If you enjoy what you see, enjoy what you hear, go ahead and help the channel out. Help yourselves out. Make yourselves feel better, because kindness is the cure. And so click on subscribe, click that notification bell for all the freaky fast action. As we get set to go back green, Collie will bring Vip to the line with Westfield to the high side of him. And Westfield just got tired of waiting on Collie to get on the gas.
Yeah, drivers are trying to figure out the timing of when to get going. Still side by side for the lead, though.
Down to the inside is Collie. Westfield on the high side. Lots of checkups going on these restarts. Bringing it across the start-finish line. Collie in second. Then you've got Westfield. And then Johnson looking down to the inside. Sora right behind them. Johnson is now charged all the way back up and looking for second position. And we'll take it.
Westfield's just trapped on the high side. He's going to be losing all that time. But now Collie's got the biggest trouble on right now. Fastest car that's been on track all race long. Johnson right on his back bumper. As teammates, I don't expect him to really use the bumper to move him. It looks like Collie could be leaving that inside a little bit open here and could be gifting his teammate the lead if he's not careful.
Across the line, Johnson will make it down to the inside of Brandon Collie. Collie will slide back to second. Can he fit between Johnson and Sora? No, he cannot. Sora will pass Collie and overtake that second position. Westfield in fourth. Collie in third, got a little squirrely coming out. Huffstutler in fifth now. Sinchek sixth. Soren seventh. Zach Hall eighth. Cedric Hunter ninth. And Jacob T. Morrison 10th. Sinchek just passed Huffstutler as we got a little group going on right there with Soren as well. Zach Hall and Cedric Hunter bunching it up through 3 and 4.
Drivers on the high side, got to be careful. Out of the 94 of Huffstutler, and he's getting loose and able to hold on. That was a scary situation. Luckily didn't overcorrect and throw that machine up at the outside wall. But Huffstutler, with that little mistake, losing him 3 positions and could be losing more.
All the way back to 10th with Daniel Keith Jr. right behind him. But Keith Jr.'s got Ryan Bird to contend with, who's looking down to the inside of him. So Huffstutler is going to be able to collect his thoughts there. Oh, a tap and a spin, and Loveland goes around.
Oh man, drivers just getting real antsy here, wanting to move as fast as possible, and just like that, a small little tap can just launch a car to the inside or outside wall.
Back up to the Freaky Fast Cartage replay. Loveland in that number 55. You'll be able to see here, little tap there. And then Loveland back in just came on around. Who was it that he touched?
That was Daniel Keith Jr. That was on his outside and nowhere to go. And then coming up, I believe that could have been Kyle Rochelle, who just got the lucky dog at last caution, and a little bit of a ding on the front left.
So that replay brought to you by Freaky Fast. Freaky Fast Cartage replay. I told you, man, I'm tired. I had a big dinner right before we started, which was a dumb idea. So now I'm like, you know, I got dinner in me, and it's past my usual bedtime.
You were rhyming, having jingles. You were amped up for those first about 40 laps. It makes sense. You were exerting a lot out here.
Yeah, I crashed.
Time to get that energy drink or coffee get rolling.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick Charlie Sheen break. I'll be right back.
Oh, man. But Kyle Rochelle, I'm really looking at that car. It doesn't look too damaged after the contact that he got, so luckily the one should be all right. But up front, Johnson back to the lead and has to be feeling comfortable and confident with the drivers on older tires of Collie and Westerfield now going to be being that second row and kind of being a buffer for the rest of the field compared to our front two.
Absolutely. And then you've got Sinchek, who's driving the wheels off of it right now up to 5th position. And that's got to be something that he's got to think about as well, is the 2 cars in front of him on 25 lap older tires. And how is he going to get around and try to not let Johnson and Sora take off and leave him? Sinchek's impressed me.
Oh, absolutely. Sinchek, I mean, the last time that they were here was for season 1, where Sinchek beat out that of Vincent Sora by 0.8 of a second. So there is pace in the 8 to win here at Martinsville, but that was before Cat 5 came into this series. As they came in, and they've just been on fire ever since they came in and won practically every race so far this season.
So 1 lap to go to green. It's going to be Johnson and Soren row 1, Collie Westfield row 2, Sinchek and Hall in 3, Soren and Hunter 4, and Morris and Huffstutler will be row number 5 as we watch the pace truck come off. And let's see what kind of restart Brian Johnson gets this time. Master of the restart.
Green flag, green flag.
Another excellent restart. Wow. And Collie with a good one too, down underneath Sora, looking for that second position, but I don't think those tires are going to be able to work it. But he does keep it half a car length. Trying to keep Sora to the outside. Sora will now get to second solidly. Sinchek underneath Westfield. That's going to be for 4th. Soren now underneath Westfield. Zach Hall had to check up. He almost got into the back end of Westfield.
I think he did get into Westfield there, and with him, he got the worst end of that bobble for making contact, and Westfield was just holding up Hall and making him lose ground. And now the driver that's making the moves forward, that's got to be Cedric Hunter, able to make the pass on that of Soren.
Yeah, Hunter will follow Sinchek and now be 4-5 as they chase down Brandon Collie. Westfield still hung to the outside, continuing to fall backwards. As we go into 3, things have settled down up front, but they're heating up back towards around 10th position, it looks like.
10th, also back for 17th. Kyle Rochelle is driving frustrated, trying to use that bumper to get drivers moved out of the way. And it's actually costing him time because he's being so aggressive that when he gets back on the throttle, he gets loose and not able to keep positions that he's trying to gain.
The 94 of Huffstutler goes underneath Westfield, pushes him back to 10th position. The Westfield continues to fall backwards. Up in front of them, Jacob T. Morris got a little loose coming out of 2. He's got Soren to the outside of him. Zach Hall right behind him. Now Sinchek will catch up with Collie. That is going to be for 3rd position.
The viewers wondering, why are we seeing the 88 dropping back so much? Well, he's on older tires. He's about 22 lap older tires than the rest of the field, so he doesn't have the same grip to be so aggressive entering and exiting out of the corners. That's what fresh tire gives you, is the ability to really get back onto the throttle way sooner than everyone else.
Champ will take 3rd position and have Cedric Hunter follow him along. He'll go into 4th. Collie drops back to 5th, with Morse now trying to chase him down. Brian Johnson has now pulled out over a 2-second lead over this group. There we go. The 28 is what I'm trying to do. He's got an 0.8 of a second lead over the second place Sora and a 2-second lead over Sincha.
I'm trying to look back and see exactly what the issue. Looking back, I think Trevor Earhart, it has parked it, trying to get damaged repaired. And re-looking at it, it was Earhart. That was the driver that made contact with Loveland, and he had already used his fast repair. So Earhart has been to get repairs done. He's been in the pits for over 5 minutes, but still one of those drivers is another caution with rails out.
Another caution comes out. We're trying to see what happened there. So we'll check out the Freaky Fast cartridge replay and see if we can see what happened here.
Oh, it's Loveland and Go Million making a little bit of contact here on the entry.
We're watching it real time with you guys. And yeah, Loveland and Go Million get into each other. Crawford out trying to get out of the way. Crawford has just been a little magnet today.
He really has. He qualified well. I mean, up in the top 10, but ever since lap 10, it has not been the 11's day.
So that will bring out caution number 11. 51 laps of caution, 135 total laps ran of 200. Here with the NAISCC Cup Series, Lee Tidwell, Sav Dyer, and Robert A. Moyer Jr. Let's bring Robert up to the booth now because he had no idea he was going to do this. Robert, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
You know, it's just another wonderful day. Just wanted everyone to be able to hear your voice and know, number one, that we're not insane. But number two, what do you think about what in the world?
Wait, no, sorry. Wait, do you want to hear my voice? Go ahead.
So tell us what your opinion is so far of this race here this evening.
Oh, man, it's tough. It's short track racing at its finest. Man, I really don't know what to say about the race. It's just beating and banging there, Lee and Sam. This is just short track racing. I think eventually it's gonna calm down. I'm hoping that it calms down, but right now, from what I'm seeing, is it's just, I don't want to say it's over aggressive driving, but it's how can I say it in a nice way? You got to get every position you can when you drop that green flag, because if you don't, eventually you get stuck behind somebody. You can't move her around. And you got to try to basically start pushing people out of the way, which then just causes checkup after checkup after checkup and things like that.
Yeah, speaking of the checkups, we heard during the last restart some of the drivers talking about there's been some heavy checkups on most restarts here this evening.
Yeah, and we're going to see that all night. And then, you know, everybody's got to understand too, different braking points. Everybody brakes different. If you're not used to running around people in a short track in the confinement that we are in right now, it can cause a lot of chaos, and you can have an incident between one or two cars, but that's going to involve 7 cars because of how tight this racing is as we're getting ready to go back green, guys.
The pace truck will pull off. Johnson will once again look for that magnificent restart. Flag goes down, and a nice jump by Sora on the high side. Then you've got Hunter and Sinchek door to door, Colley and Morris, then Hall and Soren. Look at Vincent Sora looking to overtake Brian Johnson, trying to make it stick on the high side. They bring it out of 4. Get a little sideways and squirrely, and that's going to give Johnson the opportunity to close that door and move Sora all the way back. Not all the way back, but put him solidly into second position.
Oh, the wreck behind. It's going to be the 20. Tremmel hard into the wall. And we stack them all up again. Kyle Rochelle also involved in this thing.
So we'll see what happened there on the Freaky Fast Cartage replay. Trammell just lost it. He just got on it too much coming out of 2 there. Didn't have it quite going north and south yet. And just stepped on that gas. Took it on around.
And then you're going to see that Rochelle just gets tapped, spun around. Nowhere to go in that incident.
Caution number 12 on lap 142.
Wait, I thought there also was another driver that got some contact on the entry of the corner. Saw him get coming down. It looked like Cochran not expecting drivers to slow up as much and goes to the inside of the 94, also in that wreck.
Yeah. Lots of action going on here this evening. Indeed.
Well, caution 12. That number keeps on rising. And it's kind of, you know, I thought we were going to see a lot more drivers making contact with one another. But it's a lot more still. Self-spin seems to be the big issue, and I think it's more of the pressure is building up, recognizing, we had 200 laps. We've already ran 140 of them, and it is going to just trickle away. You got to gain as many positions as possible because you're running out of time to make any moves forward.
Sam, I got a question to ask you as I'm live here with everybody, with you guys. Do you guys think it has to do anything with the setup? That because it does look like something's like with the brake bias or something, like these cars are just getting snappy loose or spinning out. Could it be possibly that the rear tires ain't gripping the way they need to be here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's more so of the drivers just being a little bit antsy, getting on the throttle a little bit too soon, and then also the drivers are spinning on the entry of the corner and through the center. It is the brake bias. I think a lot of them with this, the drivers do have the ability to change their brake bias and make it to where when you put pressure on your brake pedal, it's not as stiff and it makes you brake immediately. It's kind of like dragging your brake going down the hill. That's kind of what the drivers are trying to get, that sensation to slow them up enough to get through the corner. Some of them have it to where the brake bias is too high, so the car in the back end, when you tap the brake, it just wants to snap you around.
Correct. So the best way to fix that is to put more rear brake in.
It would be lessen it. So you want to go, I think a lot of these drivers probably have it down to probably about 1 to 0%, because then you can go negative than that on their brake bias. So a lot of them are trying to crank it down so that they're not, when they do get on the brakes, it's not just snapping when they get into it.
Right. All right, that's a one-on-one lesson on a little bit about setups.
So, question on YouTube. It's 12 cautions right now, 59 caution left.
And there's your answer, 59.
Pace truck comes off. Johnson will bring him down. Green flag. And here we go. Another nice jump start there by Brian Johnson. Zora's going to use one. Oh, what happened to Hunter?
It was Colley came down, absolutely ran over that ascent check, which then prompted everyone else to go up a lane. And now we're just seeing everyone scatter to wide action.
Oh, there's a big spin in the back.
Oh, boy.
So we've got a little bit of issues going on here.
A lot of tension building up.
Yeah, so temper's starting to flare, patience starting to wear thin, and more chances are being taken. And now we're on caution 13 of the evening, right at 3/4 of the way through this race.
Ooh, Colley's coming in the pits. Right now, Colley went with both Colley and also some other drivers that of Westfield and some other drivers decided to pit early before the end of stage 1. Colley was one of the last of those drivers to finally come into the pits. Now he's going to use his last set of tires here, and the rest of the field, they're kind of sitting where they're at. You need to, if you're going to pit to try to have an advantage tire-wise, this is kind of your last time to do it, because you're not going to have enough time to cut your way through the field. And honestly, I don't even think Colley has enough time to cut his way through the field with the amount of cautions that have been coming out. It's going to be really difficult for the 42 to really mount a way to go forward and take advantage with this fresh rubber.
So lap 150 of 200. We've had 62 laps of caution, with 32 yellow flags. 32. What did I say that for? 13 yellow flags. Man, I don't know where 32 came from.
I mean, 32 is probably the most I've seen of drivers that have ran 200 laps here in Martinsville, but I don't think we're going to get to that marker. There's just not enough laps for the drivers. Even if they had a caution every lap from here on out, they would not hit that marker.
So 1 lap till green. And we'll see what we can do with this restart. Brian Johnson continues to lead. Sora in second. Sinchek, Morris, Hunter Hall, Soren, Bird, Crawford, and Moniz. Moniz up into the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, Moniz has done a great job for himself. He was one of those drivers that was caught up in an earlier incident around lap 30. He's been able to move back up into the top 10.
Pace truck comes off, and we get ready to go green. Party the flag guy says, let's get her going, boys. Brian Johnson brings them around, stacks them up, and nice jump once again by Vincent Sora. Let's see if he can race it for 1. Through 1 and 2, Johnson with a good lead, not quite a full car length. Sora going to be able to pull it up to the tail end, but then fall behind. Coming out of 4, then Sinchek underneath Jacob T. Morris. Now Crawford's going to look underneath, not Crawford, excuse me, Cedric Hunter going to look underneath Morris as well, with Zach Hall behind them, and then Soren, Crawford, Burt, and Loveland.
Oh, Morris goes around up front.
No yellow.
Yellow flag is waving now.
The Jacob T. Morris brings out caution number 14.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. He's going to come down into the 13. And that's what brings out this caution. That was so interesting for... You're going to see the 23 running on the high side of the 13 Hello Kitty machine. And Morris is going to come down onto Hunter on the entry here. And once they tapped, it just spun him around.
So takes him around, and that will bring the caution back out. Caution number 14. Here at Martinsville with the NAISCC Cup Series. Sam, what'd you have for dinner tonight? I'm running out of things to talk about. So
I have not had dinner yet. I usually, when I do broadcasts, because I'm over here in California, I do my broadcast and then I have dinner. And then if I've got another broadcast after that, I'll eat dinner really quick and then go to another one. But for tonight, haven't had anything. I think I'm having hamburgers tonight. I think that is what's on the menu. But
so you're from California, so you don't know about the wonderful world of crystals.
No, I have no idea.
Out here in the South, crystals is a staple of Southern dining and tradition. And that's what we had for dinner tonight was crystals.
Okay, enlighten me. What is crystals?
Do y'all have White Castle?
I don't have White Castle over here. I know what White Castle is, though.
All right, it's like White Castle, but better.
Okay. Have you been to the West Coast, though?
No, farthest west I've been is like Dallas.
Okay, so you had a chance, because I think that there is an In-N-Out in Dallas.
No, but I do want to go to In-N-Out.
I might be making a bold statement here, but I might think In-N-Out's better than Crystals, and I haven't had it. I haven't had Crystals, so it's a bold statement.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you that. I've never had it. I didn't say Crystal was a top-notch 5-star hamburger joint. No, this is gut bombs, man. I mean, if you haven't used the bathroom in a couple days, go get you a sack full of Crystals. You're guaranteed to go and clean yourself out. But
that's Taco Bell. That's what you got. You just get Taco Bell if you're going to do that.
I like me some Taco Bell too.
Their naked chicken tacos back. Ooh, it's great.
Anything naked is good with me.
Oh,
Johnson.
Lee is losing it. He's running out.
Johnson and Sora will be in that front row. Sinchek, he's been on the move and been really pressing. So let's see what he does on this restart. Going to be 42 to go when we go across the line. Huge jump by Johnson.
Oh,
Sinchek
Hunter!
touches the curb, spins it. Oh, Sora spins as well.
Well, I think that might be the big one of the night.
I think that's going to be Sinchek is going to be the beginning of this. Sinchek in the 8. Oh, no, yeah, Cedric Hunter taps Sinchek in the back end. Going into 1. So, yeah, taps Sinchek. Sinchek comes up into Sora, touches his back end.
The magnet. Nick Crawford made it through. He's in the top 5.
Crawford in the top 5. How did that happen? How did he make it through a wreck? That is totally uncalled for. So here is what happened as we bring it back right here. Hunter touches the back end of Sinchek, who then gets the curb, comes up a little bit. He will tap Sora, and both of them will go around. Zach Hall squeezes through on the inside. Cedric Hunter squeezes through on the outside. Nick Crawford somehow makes it through, along with 05 of Soren, who will slide into 4th position. Wham, bam. What the heck just happened?
Well, some of the drivers we know needed to come into the pits. Vincent Sora, one of those that was involved in that wreck, was in 2nd, now all the way back in 20th place. Had to use a fast repair, going to get some 4 fresh ones, but he's going to be all the way back in 20th place. It's going to be a long day for Sora because it's less than 40 laps for him to get back out up front. Kyle Rochelle also back here, the one that's been extremely aggressive, bringing out a couple of cautions, but now he's got to work his way up as well with the 8 being back there also.
I don't know what that means.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Our
producer just gave the reins up to Lee where he could just go off.
I mean, if you really want to unleash that Kraken, we can definitely do it.
What a Pandora box that is.
But don't cry, Johnny Depp, when I happen to come out of left field with some things you're not expecting. So where did Sinchek end up after all that?
He is currently getting back to the end of the line. He is back in 22nd position.
Man, he fought all race long, clawing, scratching, just trying his best to climb up and gets all the way to 3rd position, and then on a janky restart. We've had some janky restarts tonight. Gets tapped in the back end, takes it around, and then Vincent Sora, who was running in 2nd position. Green flag. Man, Johnson will bring him down. You got Hall and Hunter next to each other. Soren looking out to the inside. Crawford, then we'll have Loveland to the top side of him coming out of 2. Gonna be Cedric Hunter. Spin. Nope, saves it. Checks up the entire field. That looked like it was Morris.
That was Moniz that got out of shape. Vincent Sora started back in 18th. He's moved up to 16th. He's now kind of hit a wall of drivers where he cannot get moving forward. He's got fresh rubber, so he's got the potential chance to really make some moves, but they've got a car in front of him. That is Keith Jr., 3 wide.
Oh, tips.
Yellow.
There he goes. The 23 of Jacob T. Morris gets taken around.
Well, we threw it out at the start of the race. Over-under on 20 cautions. Lee, you went with under. Robert went with straight even at 20, and I went over. And it is going to be a close call at the end of this race for us, and also for these drivers on who's going to get this win.
So we watch as they come through. You got Morris, and then you got Sora diving down to the inside, and then tips the back end of Morris, spins him on around. And that will take it. Caution number 16. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? And you make it 10 laps without a wreck. That's all I ask for. What the heck? Come on, NAISCC Cup Series. No more yellows. You know what makes me yellow right now is a dog peeing in the snow, but there's no snow, so no yellows. Let's keep it green the rest of the time. Lap 169 of 232 laps to go here. 16 cautions with 75 caution laps. A little under half the race.
Never trust yellow snow. Well, Lee, I know it's hard for us to talk about what's going on the race, but there is something we could talk about. That's the race sponsor, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Thank you for all the work that y'all do for helping out the kids and being so amazing for everyone that needs help there. But yeah, Lee, if this thing could stay green, this would be incredible. But there's a lot of damaged cars that are going to stack everyone up, and possibly we're going to see the same exact caution we just did over and over again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially because now we've got different guys up in the mix that we haven't seen. So what's Nathan Soren going to do there in 4th position? Loveland in 6th, Bird up to 7th. Thomas Walter has fought his way back up to 8th. Thornick in 9th, Foner up in 10th, Trammell in 11th. Then you've got Cat 5 basically sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5 right now. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Go back to some 80s/90s jams as we get ready to go back green. It'll be 29 laps to go when we cross the line. Bernie the flag guy says, hold up, we got one more caution lap to go. Take it on around again, fellas.
Yourself some breathing room. Check your brake bias. Make sure that you don't run into the car in front of you, because most likely front runner is going to stack the field again like they've been doing all night long, which has been irritating everyone that's been in the middle of the field because of that accordion effect.
So we'll go green this time. It'll be 28 to go when Barney waves his little scrawny arm as the pace truck comes in. Brian Johnson and Cedric Hunter will lead them down out of 4.
Green flag.
And the flag waves. Johnson in the lead, Hunter 2nd, Hall 3rd. Soren will fall back to 4th, Crawford 5th, and then we've already got a spin. We're going to pull it out and keep it going. That was the 24 of Morales, and he did spin it around out of 2. No yellow.
Hostile alert goes around. It's a complete stack up.
The professor loses it there in 3 and 4. Not sure exactly what happened, but let's throw another caution, because why the hell not? Lap 174 of 200.
Oh, 17. We're getting close. Y'all thought I was crazy when I threw out 20.
Well, Thomas Walter gets involved. So we're back under caution here at Martinsville. It is 10:36 p.m. according to race time. 10:36 p.m. on the East Coast. Hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday evening here with Freaky Fast Broadcasting. I can't believe we have gained viewers in the past 5 minutes. I thought for sure everyone would have turned the channel.
Lee, they want to see what next you're going to say. That's the main reason they're here, and also for the final 2 laps.
I just hope we're on a delay, because there's no telling what's going to come out sooner or later. Especially if we had 20 cautions.
I threw out 20 because I thought it was a safe low ball number, and it's looking like it's going to be exact.
So Miss Morales said no more cautions because Martin's dinner's getting cold. So Martin Morales, your wife says come get your dinner, sir. No more yellows. So for anybody who calls us a yellow, Andrea Morales, she's got your number, and she will take care of business.
Oh, all of these drivers need to be on their best behavior now. You do not want to get yourself in trouble.
Do not make Miss Andrea mad. Please do not do that.
Oh, another driver is officially parked.
Speaking of dinner, so Miss Andrea, what is for dinner tonight? What is waiting on Martin when he gets done with this race? I'm curious. Is it crystals?
We should get our response here shortly, but we have, I will state this, we do have enough laps. If a caution happens right when we go green, every single time, we have the potential of 22 cautions in total. And I believe that also is counting for green-white checkered. So that's if we use all the green-white checkers. This is going to be a crazy one.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the Cafe Morales this evening, we have lemon pepper chicken with some crisp veggies.
Ooh.
That is our specialty of the evening. Our wine is White Zinfandel. It is a lovely 1976 vintage from Sonoma, California. Made while a NASCAR race was going on.
I did not know that I was shipping that out. Well, good to know.
I don't even drink wine. I don't know where wine is that a wine? I think it is.
I mean, Sonoma County is like the place for wine.
Yeah, you're from California. You should know this stuff. Come on.
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes away from the racetrack right now. I'm right there. Wineries all around me. It's great.
That would not be a good situation for me. Johnson brings him down. Hunter will be in second. This looks exactly like the last restart. Even it out. Cat 5 will be 1, 2, 3, and 5. As Bird is going to race Crawford on the high side, we drive it down into 3. Bunch it up. Who in the world is that charging? That's Thornick, who is looking to make some positions there.
Thornick on some fresh tires, but on the freshest of the tires in our top 15. That's Vincent Sora, who is boxed in, but wrecking in the back. Jacob Morris had probably one of the most unique wrecks to bring out the yellow. Oh, no, I talked about this. Instant points to get you a lot knocked out. I think that's what happened to Morris.
So when they eject you, they eject you.
You get out of there quick. You can bring out a yellow, but you're done.
Caution number 18. It's the lemon pepper chicken caution. As we have 19 laps to go here at Martinsville. Hey guys, let's just make a rule that anytime we do Martinsville, it's going to become a drinking game. We're going to start taking a shot every caution, and hopefully we don't die before the end of the race.
Have you ever heard of alcohol poisoning?
We're going to test fate, man. Next league that runs Martinsville, and we call it, Sam, we're going to do, it's a drinking game.
Can we make it every 2 cautions? I would be okay with every 2.
Come on, man. Put hair on your chest.
Oh, man. I don't know. Well, our producer thinks that he'll be... Our producer can't be drinking. He can't be drinking. He needs to be working. It's us that would be the ones having fun.
No, he needs to, too. We'll be talking about the leaders, and he'll be focusing on someone sitting on pit road or something.
Oh, no. On Google Maps somewhere.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to apologize once again for the actions of myself here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My thoughts, actions, and words do not convey any beliefs held by Freaky Fast or the affiliate sponsors or leagues that they broadcast. They are mine and mine alone. So if you feel like sending hate mail, send it to I don't care stupid cautions at gmail.com.
Ditto. Well, Lee, if you want your We said 20. You said lower than 20. They cannot have another caution for you to win that bet.
No, there's not going to be any more. We got 17 to go. It's going to be 15 when we get restarted. We're going to go green the entire last 15 laps. We're going to have one, take that back. One more caution to set up a green-white checkered. We're going to end at 18 cautions under 20.
Oh, I'll say this. I think Vincent Sora is going to bring out the next caution. That is my call for this next one. Because he's running out of time. He's all the way back in 11th. Fresh tires. He's been looking gutsy to make some bold moves. I think he's willing to move some drivers out of the way.
Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. We're going to see someone take a bump. It's getting to that point in the race, and there's been enough. These race car drivers, they have longer memories. Not as much as an elephant, but they do remember throughout a race. And you throw a block or punt someone or drive someone aggressive on lap 3, and you get 15 laps to go. Don't expect any slack to be given. So the pace truck will come off. Let's get this sucker started. Johnson will bring him to the line. Big shove by Soren there on the back of Hunter. Going down into 1. Hunter on the high side, Johnson on the inside. We're going to go 3 wide with Huffstutler stuck between Collie and Rochelle. He's going to fall on backwards, bring it through 3 and 4. Brian Johnson will lead, almost said Scott Hall. We're not watching wrestling. The spin, who was that?
Oh, the 05 goes around. Also,
Doran.
the professor, he's caught up in too many incidences. More wrecks coming in and more DNFs coming in. More drivers.
Senate.
Thordick, Hutzfeller just got DQ'd with too many incident points.
Caution number 19 is Tom Sinchek. Showed his disapproval of this 19th caution and decided just to send it through the wreck.
Oh, and the 05 had nowhere to go.
So we'll go back on the Freaky Fast Cartage replay. We're riding along with Magnum PI himself. As we're waiting on our producer to quit laughing so he can get the replay going.
Well, he's going to see it in front. The initial catalyst of all this was with Nathan Soren being bumped by that of James Loveland, who also got a bump from Ryan Bird. And then they all start spinning in front, and we're going to be seeing the 05. We're going to be seeing, that of the 8. Just full send it. No ARCA brakes fully engaged. And, the 05, I think he needed to get a T-bone, I guess. Some drivers are hungry, and so he decided to deliver some food to the 05.
Yeah, I think our producer was laughing too much that he rewound about 27 laps. So we're going to go at warp speed here, trying to find it before the race starts back up.
If you have motion sickness, please close your eyes until we say it's okay. I'm pretty sure there's a chance that we could be under pacing, and that's what we're watching.
I'm 99% sure we're watching pacing right now.
Yeah, they're stacking up. Okay, we're about to go green.
So he comes
Also,
down
drivers,
the backstretch.
as we're watching this, drivers are coming into pit road getting service done for themselves. Soren, Bird, they did get some service, pit road. As now on the replay, we're green for this. This is not live, but oh boy.
So they went green. They make it through 3 and 4 pretty good. And then going into 1 and 2, obviously a little bit of movement there. Coming out of 3 and 4, riding along with Magnum PI. Number 8 is Tom Sinchek. You start seeing the smoke. You see everything. You see Sinchek go, I ain't lifting. I ain't lifting. Oh, crap. There's Soren. I ain't lifting.
That's not the first time we've seen drivers tonight just full send it into someone else, so not surprised by it. But it looks like we are now stacked up and getting ready to go with the 1 to go out there as the lights are off.
So, first, second, third, and fourth, all category 5. How the heck did that happen? Then you're going to drop back. You got Loveland, Trammell, Sora, and Collie moved up to 8th now. Rochelle and Moniz 9th and 10th. Martin Morales, whose dinner's getting cold, sitting in 11th position. His lemon pepper chicken and veggies.
When that food was called, he was spun all the way in last place. I mean, he's moved up to 11.
Here we go. Pace truck comes off. We are going to have 8 laps to go when we cross the line. Zach Hall, Brian Johnson, Nick Crawford, Cedric Hunter, Category 5. Oh, Hunter gets hit in the tail end there by Trammell.
Oh, no! They're phasing into one another.
Coming back through, we go into 3. Everybody, can you keep it going straight, please? Brian Johnson across the line, 7 laps to go. Zach Hall in 2nd, Cedric Hunter in 3rd. Sora and Loveland are going to battle for 4th. Sora on the inside. Sora has fought his way back up to 4th position. Vincent Sora looking to make miracles happen in Martinsville. 6 to go when we cross the line. We come out of 4. Brian Johnson in the lead. Zach Hall in 2nd, Cedric Hunter 3rd. Vincent Sora in 4th position. Driving it deep into 1. Vincent Sora trying to chase down the Hello Kitty car of Cedric Hunter. Out of 2, he is within 0.2 of a second. Driving it down into 3 now. Vincent Sora looking to make something happen. Collie has moved it up to 7th position. Through 3 and 4, we will keep it single file. 5 laps to go. Johnson, Hall, Hunter, Sora. Sora with a run through 1 and 2, had to lift. Stay behind Cedric Hunter now down the backstretch. Going into 3, Johnson, Hall, Hunter, Sora once again. Sora looking for that move. Looks down to the inside. Hall says, Cedric Hunter says, no, sir. Sora says, I'm going to do it here on 1. Hunter slams the door. Through 1 and 2, Sora will remain in 4th position. 3.5 laps to go. Going through 3. Vincent Sora, can he make the pass on Cedric Hunter?
Hello.
And we have caution number 20.
Oh, and it's Nathan Soren and that of Tom Sinchek. They weren't done with that last caution.
So let's see what happened there. They go through 1 and 2, and Sinchek just gets to the left rear of Soren. Little tappy tap, little kissy kiss. I mean, you couldn't even catch a charge for how light that kiss was.
A lot safer of a tap. I know he didn't want to see the 0-5 getting spun around, but a lot, of a cleaner tap this time by than it was during the end of that last caution when that Sinchek just full sent it through. But this is now going to bring us our 20th caution of this race, and we are now entering overtime. We have 3 attempts if needed, but oh boy, Lee, this is exciting. Sora, he was coming with head of steam, and the reason why he's climbing so quick, he has about 60 lap fresher tires than that of the leaders.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting 2-lap shootout. You've got Johnson, Hall, and Hunter. They all pitted on lap 103. Then Vincent Sora in 4th, pitted on lap 162. Nick Crawford has fallen back to 6th. Loveland up to 5th. Collie will be in 7th. Rochelle in 8th. Trammell in 9th. Dakota Moniz in 10th position. How the hell that happened, I have no idea. Thomas Walter will be in 11th. And we will go green, white, checkered when we take the green flag from Barney the Flag Guy here at Martinsville with the NAISCC Cup Series on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, the St.Jude Children's Hospital 200. And it's been 200 interesting caution-filled laps this wonderful Saturday night. About to be 11 p.m. on the East Coast. If this was December 31st, we could almost drop the ball together.
Oh, if we keep on getting these wrecks, we get so close to that.
Keep on getting these wrecks, we'll be racing until December 31st.
Absolutely.
How many green, white checkers we got?
We got 3 if needed.
No, we'll do 3 green, white checkers. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. When we were racing at North Wilkesboro, we had 3 attempts. We thought we were going to use all 3 there. We only used 2. So I think 2 attempts is going to be our marker. So I'm not expecting us to be done after this first attempt.
If there's no more cautions, we ended up at exactly 20, and I'm taking you to Vegas with me, Sam.
Well, I bet it higher than 20. I just said 20 because I had a feeling these drivers were going to be able to at least keep it clean. We had a couple of runs that went, 10. I think our longest run we had was 19 laps, where Johnson was about 3 laps away from going and trying to lap traffic. But this time around, I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers playing nice here over time.
19 drivers on the lead lap. It will be a green-white checkered when we take the line. Green flag, and Johnson stacks them up. Hall with an excellent start there. Nice job, Big Mac. Zach Hall into the lead. Hall for the restart. Brian Johnson, look at Sora. He moves up to third on the outside of Johnson. Has to hit the brakes quicker. Now Johnson taps Hall, sends him up the track. Johnson will make the lead. Here comes Sora to the inside. Vincent Sora in the second position. Passes Hunter. Passes Hall. And now in second as he put the bumper to Johnson. Driving through 1 and 2. Last lap. Brian Johnson in the lead. Vincent Sora fights his way to second position. Going into 3. Sora puts the bumper in. Hall puts the bumper in. Spinning behind him. And calamity ensues. Sora gets spun by Hall. Crosses the line. Sora takes second by the ass of his car.
Hall steals it. Sora was not able to get it. Oh, he came up 300 short.
Oh my, I could have swore that Sora spun over the line before Hall.
When he got spun around, if he was still turning into the pit wall, he would have beat out Hall, but because he overcorrected, that's where he scrubbed off the time and gave Hall second. But oh boy, did Sora try. He tried in entering 1 and entering 3. He gave a massive shove to Johnson, but it just wasn't enough. That 28 did not move at all with those bumps.
What a race here at Martinsville. Brian Johnson comes away with the win. Zach Hall in second. Vincent Sora will wind up in third after fighting his way back from 20th position. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your top 3 finishers to join Sam in the booth here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the NAISCC Cup Series. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. And back here from Martinsville with the NAISCC Cup Series, we have our podium finishers ready to join Sam in the booth. First, we're going to bring up the third place, number 15 of Vincent Sora.
Hey, Vincent, it's Sam up the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, you were probably one of the few drivers that were able to take the fresher tires and cut your way through the traffic. How was it in those final about 30 laps when you really had to go move practically from 20th up to second, almost taking the lead?
It was pretty crazy. I mean, I was just doing everything I could to get up there. I was pretty frustrated because I felt like I had a car that could maybe compete for the win. Brian was really quick tonight, but I thought if I could just get one good restart where I can clear and my clean air might be able to give me this win, but I just couldn't get around him. And then, unfortunate, I think just a little accident between Tom and Cedric got me involved. So, yeah, I got freshes on it, went through the field, and a lot of mad drivers, but I don't know. It's Martinsville. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you put on a great show. Us being able to watch you make all the moves you could, but with the final green white checkered attempts, you certainly made the moves to have a chance to win this thing. Was there anything else? Because it just seemed like you tried everything that you had.
Yeah, I was giving everything I had. I mean, I was beating Brian's back bumper off. I was getting mine, just destroyed, but I can't expect anything else, really. I mean, yeah, we're just all going for what we can get there at the end. Wish I could have got the win, but I'll take a P2.
I mean, it seems like for most of this season, it's been all about trying to beat the Cat 5 team as they've been really dominant most of this season. We're going now to Road America next week. Do you feel like that's a course where you feel a little bit more comfortable and confident that you might be able to get a win there?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an unknown because this league has never gone to Road America, so we don't really know who's going to be quick. But I don't know. I like road courses. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it for the Sonoma race, but yeah, we'll see. It should be a pretty interesting race.
Well, Vincent, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
I'd like to thank Thomas Walther for painting this beautiful paint scheme, and I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting.
Awesome, sir. Well, that's Mr. Vincent Sortha, number 15, finishing in third position. Now we're going to bring up our second place finisher, Big Mac himself, the number 32 of Zach Hall.
Hey, Zach, it's Sam up the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, you were up front sticking with your team. It seemed like you were always around Brian and Cedric there for most of this race when you guys fell back to around 8th and then made your way back up front. How was it tonight trying to stay mentally focused with all of these cautions?
Oh, man, that race was wild. I don't even know how I got in position on it. It was a tale of two races there at the end. The beginning of the race, first stage, really the problem was I qualified pretty well. Didn't think that was going to happen. I was struggling really bad in practice. So really happy to come out here and run good. But that beginning of the race, man, stage one, I just kept getting outside on restarts, and I was trying to be cautious and be smart about it and just stay out of trouble this race. And it worked out. I fell back almost 2 positions every restart, but there at the end, I finally got in the right spots, made the right moves, and almost had the win there. I wish I would have stayed on the brake when he got to the back bumper, but in the story, he should have won it. I got second. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, to get second, you had to get by and a little bit of a bump to the 15. I mean, how was it trying to drag race yourself to get by that of Vincent?
Oh yeah, that was tough. When Brian gave me the bump down in the 3, it shot me way off the racetrack because I came off the brake. When I should just, I'm really mad at myself. I didn't stay on the brake because it wouldn't have went that high up the racetrack. I probably could have been side by side at least with him off the corner. But that allowed Vincent to get by, and he drove it in the 1, and I seen him beating Brian's back bumper off. So at that point, I was like, all right, it's fair game. We're just going to beat each other's back bumpers off. So at that point, it was if you catch him in the center, or you catch him anywhere, it's just a little bit of a bump. Then down to 3, I gave him a bump in the center. He got a pretty good drive off, and then I think he got loose there. And I actually don't think I touched him there at the end, but it was so close. I was trying not to get caught up in it, but I was trying to get by him. Luckily, we squeaked by for another second. I don't know how many seconds this is this season, but it feels like I've been finishing second a lot. But we'll take that. That's always consistent.
Yeah, a lot of second places, but you won at Sonoma, and now we're going to another road course at Road America. How are you feeling about going to another road course next week?
Well, it'll be interesting. I love Road America. I'm probably not as well off as I am at Sonoma. That's definitely probably my best road course. But I think there, if I put the practice in, I should be pretty strong. I'm gonna have a lot of tough competition. Definitely. I mean, not only my teammates, but Sinchek. Sonoma was just a rocket there last time we raced, and then also Sora. He wasn't there. Vincent. He was not there for the Sonoma race. He didn't get to show really his bag of tricks because I know he'll be pretty quick. So I'm gonna have some contenders next week to deal with. But man, if I can go out there and qualify on the pole, I really feel pretty confident about it. It's road courses are definitely my strong suit, and if I can go there and win that race, that'll be a good one to put in the bag for the rest of the season.
We're hoping that it's just as exciting as it was tonight. But Zach, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Oh yeah, first off, shout out to you guys up at the Freaky Fast booth. Uh, all my friends up there, you guys are amazing. You know that, and it's amazing to be able to go back and watch these. Your guys' energy is just top tier, top tier. So cannot complain when it comes to that. Shout out to all the drivers in the league. This was a wild race in Martinsville. I did literally just deal with Road to Pro on Thursday, and it was pretty much the same thing. And it's just one of those races. So shout out to all the drivers for at least keeping somewhat of cool heads here tonight and prevailing. And shout out to my teammates. We had an excellent performance tonight from a lot of us. We got caught up in a lot of stuff, but the performance was pretty well, especially to qualify 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just excited for the rest of the season. It should be really, really good.
Awesome. Well, have a good one, Mr. Hall. I will see you tomorrow night, sir.
Later, guys.
And that's Zach Hall, your second place finisher. Now let's bring up Mr. Ultra Instinct himself, your race winner, the number 28 of Brian P. Johnson.
Brian, it's Sam up in the booth. You got me?
I sure do.
Well, it's 2 in a row, 3 for the season. You have been probably having the best start you could ask for. How does this one, though, rank out of the 3 races this season?
Well, it's definitely good to lead as many laps as you do, and take the lead and only lose it at the stage for guys staying out on old tires and all that. But I feel like the pace truck maybe have led more laps tonight than I did. Yeah, it's just crazy, especially at the end. Me and Martinsville go together pretty good. I love this place, pretty good at it, and just when you get a green white checkered, you always know that you're gonna hit somebody and somebody's gonna hit you. And I didn't mean to get into Zach right there. I was just trying to stay on his inside, and between just overshooting the entry and being on the brake so hard, the car went straight. So that wasn't intentional. And then on the last lap, I seen Sora in the mirror, and I knew he was gonna be hitting my bumper. So just gotta stay on the brakes a little bit more and stabilize the car a little bit. So we were able to hold him off. But yeah, it feels pretty good to win like that at my favorite track.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question was how were you holding on? Because Sora was certainly soaring into you and just smacking your back bumper constantly there through 1 and also 3. Was it the brake that was the main factor that helped you out there?
Oh yeah, I've done so many races at Martinsville and lost so many from being hit in the back bumper and being spun out or moved up on the last lap. So I've just learned that if you see them coming and they're going to hit you, just keep your foot a little bit harder on the brake, and that kind of stabilizes the rear end of the car. So you're a little slower and kind of stacks people up, but at least you don't spin out or move up the track. So that's all you do right there.
Well, I've already asked the other 2 the same question, but we're going to Road America next week. How are you feeling about going to that road course?
Well, that's funny that you asked that because I'm going to miss next week's race. So I'm sure some of the guys over here are gonna like to hear that. But yeah, I mean Road America, I'm not too familiar with it. I hadn't driven many races there or laps, so probably wasn't gonna do too terribly well there anyway. But yeah, gonna miss this one. So but I'll be rooting for Cat 5 and maybe tune into the stream.
Well, that just means your streak comes to an end. It ends at 2, but
It
still
does.
3 wins this season. The only driver with multiple wins this season. A great start in our first 6 races for you, Brian. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
I just got to shout out you guys as always, putting on a great product out there for everybody to watch, and got to thank those guys too for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show, even with all those cautions. But and then I got to thank the admins over here, do a great job, and really all the drivers over here. It's a good group of guys over here, and then of course, as always, all of my teammates continue to push each other harder and harder every week, and that's how we get better. So hopefully they can get them next week.
Well, Brian, congratulations. We'll miss you next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks, sir.
Alrighty, see you later, Lee.
And that's Brian Johnson, Mr. Ultra Instinct, who comes away as your race winner once again. Why can I not move Brian? There we go. I moved him that time. So that'll do it here from Martinsville as we get set to give you the final results from the St.Jude Children's Hospital 200. Brian Johnson will be your race winner. Zach Hall will come in second. Vincent Sora in third. Cedric Hunter finishes 4th. Nick Crawford in 5th. James Loveland 6th. Brandon Colley will finish in 7th, and 8th will be Dakota Moniz. 9th, Maurice Gilmillion. 10th, Ryan Bird. Big shakeup there in the back half of the top 10. Martin Morales Jr. now eating dinner in 11th. Tom Sinchek in 12th. Adam Westfield in 13th. Thomas Walter 14th. Daniel Keith Jr. in 15th. Nathan Soren in 16th. Kyle Rochelle in 17th. James Trammell will finish in 18th position. And 19th will be Danny Cochran. 20th will be Max Foner. 21st, Jesse Thornick. 22nd, the Professor, John Hupstutler. 23rd, Jacob Morris. 24th, Ryan Ferraro. 25th, Trevor Earhart. And 26th will be Austin Halsey. And that will do it for us here this evening at Martinsville. Robert, quick, take this back over before I get us banned.
Before you get banned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, everybody, for sticking around here tonight with this race here at Martinsville. It sometimes can put on a good show, and sometimes it can put on a crap show, and sometimes it's just fun to call. Lee, Sam, it was a pleasure tonight. Listening to you guys talk made me laugh. I'm sure the fans will like it, and everybody that goes back and watches this here at this league. Hopefully you liked it and enjoyed the commentating. And if you did, don't forget on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe, and please hit the like button here on this stream. And also post your comments below on what you thought about the race, the commentating, or whatever else we had going on here tonight. But I'm going to let these guys get out of here at Martinsville. We will be live tomorrow here with Bonfire Racing League here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as we'll have Hunter Hayward joining in the booth with Lee Tidwell tomorrow at 9:50. And then tomorrow night we will be live with SRU at Texas with the next gen vehicles at Texas. But until then, hopefully everybody has a great night and be safe on a Sunday. But we're going to sign off here, and we're going to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.